From Rochester, New York, the home of the World's Image Center, the home of Erber, and the home of the Strong Museum of Play, this is FC3 Monkey Business with Billy DeTore, Tanya Metris, and you, Chris Frank.
Yay!
Welcome to this week's episode.
I did it live too.
What is Erber again?
I forget. I was trying to remember the same thing. I know, and I asked him, and I know he said it, and I know that I should have been paying attention.
He told us, and we all said, "Oh!"
And it made perfect sense at the time. I remember it being very clear cut and understood, but then I'm like,
I can't remember.
It has something to do with something of Rochester.
Erber.
You know.
Do we know how to spell that?
No.
Is it an E or a U?
Try
or
both.
An I.
Or an I.
Oh, the English language.
Somebody call Wayne and ask him.
What is Erber?
Erber. I don't know. Sit, Erber, sit.
I think it's a baby food. Is it a baby
Gerber.
food? Oh.
That's no.
Do they make roast beef sandwiches?
That's Arby's.
Oh.
Yeah. Hi, Billy.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Tanya.
Hi.
Hi, Anne.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good.
You been feeling good?
Yeah.
Hanging in there, both. Are you actually like? Are you voice commanding that?
No.
That's hilarious.
I wish I could. Well, I could, but.
Yeah, that's a thing.
I was doing that with my text messages earlier on my truck, but it didn't work so well.
Oh my God! He actually Vinny can actually do something.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
What?
Love it.
Fix
He's gonna fix the tire.
When?
Probably, I'd say before lunch.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. So you have it.
Forewarning, his garage has been 85 to 90 degrees because he has the wood burning stove and they're going hot.
See if,
Well, it's good
see
for
if
the
he can
20
swap out my spark plugs while he's at it. But he's been avoiding me because he's been working on his garage.
Oh, it's all fixed now.
It's all fixed now? Tell him I have some work for him. If he's available. Oh, my God, he's available. That's amazing. Hi, guys. Hi. We're podcasting, by the way.
We are?
We're on the air from Rochester, New York. The home
of Erber.
Erber.
I don't know what that is.
We're going to have to figure that out.
You're going to have to tell us what that is
one of
again
these
because
days.
I forgot.
I think it's the sitcom production company that makes the Bob Newhart show.
There you go.
Ubu?
No.
Sit,
Ubu.
Sit.
Yeah.
Well, I looked up Erber and I got Uber, I got Garber, I got Gerber. And I'm just like, I'm not getting what I wanted.
All right, so I want to start today's episode off with a thank you.
Welcome.
To James, to our buddy James Irish, to you, Tanya, to Chrissy Harding, because we had our trivia night. We had our trivia night at the 585 this past week.
Karma is a bitch,
I'm
isn't
telling
it?
you, it was amazing because I thought we were prepared, and then I discovered because of a series of circumstances that we were not. The three of you hunkered in and created a 6-round trivia contest in 20 minutes. The three of you were awesome, and I appreciate that.
And bad Chrissy. Literature questions way too hard. Bad Chrissy.
Well, like she said in her defense, she drew from a high school website, so there should have been a certain level of understanding.
That we haven't been in high school for a long time?
Okay, speak for yourself. That's even longer for me. Never mind. James and Chrissy and Tanya were they were just amazing. They rose to the occasion and they knocked it out.
And I must admit, my Disney category was hard, too, for them.
It was a little challenging, more challenging than I expected it to be. I knew all the answers, but it was weird
looking over my shoulder, though.
No, I just knew the answer because I have kids. That's a thing. So, but no, it was good, though. It was a good experience. We had fun.
We'll have more questions ready to go.
Yeah.
But not necessarily the whole...
You know what? I'm wondering if that's the thing we should just, like when you have a chance, come up with a round and then set it aside. Instead of having to write a whole freaking quiz, let's just come out with a whole bunch of different rounds, and then we were like, okay, we need 7 rounds today. Boom, we can pull out, we can pull from a folder, and we have these questions available to us already.
Anne, how many makeup questions did you send them?
I don't know, quite a bit.
Makeup questions? Yeah, I got actual not makeup as in like we're catching up.
No,
we're talking makeup as in Revlon.
Yes.
Yeah.
L'Oreal.
There was about a dozen of makeup questions. I still have those on file somewhere. I do.
And I know Dee sent
It's
you
true.
sports questions.
Dee did send me some sports questions. You sent me a whole Disney thing.
So it's a matter of just taking them and say, okay, we have these for this and his for this and this for this. So I'll go back into my Disney stuff.
Or Star Wars.
Or Star Wars. Or Star Trek.
But it was kind of cool that we did the movie quotes. So they got, I think they were both perfect on. Mm-hmm. No, they were not perfect. One team was perfect. Lunachicks.
The Lunachicks were perfect.
But
derailed.
Well, the one that got the other team is like, you are a whore, we all are.
From Showgirls.
From Showgirls, and they thought it was the best little whorehouse in Texas.
Right.
I like that movie.
It was funny.
Can I write questions for like a 70s, 80s sitcom?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because that's sort of like stuff that I know off the top
That's your
of my
wheelhouse,
head.
man.
Please
Yeah.
make some. We would love to use them.
Absolutely.
Yes, have some.
How many cats will be in the Dottori house by Christmas?
7.
12.
No.
I want the little white one.
No, if she's available. We really are fostering her. We're not going to keep
I
her.
know,
So.
she's precious.
She is.
She's
Oh
adorable.
my God! And the little purr machine. I just want to snuggle her.
Well,
She's
you know what to
very
do.
cute.
I know.
Contact Susan DiTori.
That's
I
I
it.
have that black one. You could have a black and a white one.
I'm not taking Boomer.
Okay, Boomer.
No.
Oh, that's bad around here. I don't think I'm allowed to mention it in this building.
Oh, really?
It's the name of one of our cats.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's. I was going to post a picture of former NFL quarterback Boomer Esiason,
Okay, Boomer.
but I thought I might get yelled at. But
You know what's interesting to me on that
I
whole
don't get
front? There's this whole schmoz going on locally, and it's actually gone smidge national at this point.
yeah, more than Stephen Colbert. Did a
Colbert
joke
took a
about it.
crack at Lonsberry.
Yes,
I
he
thought
did.
that was hilarious.
Yes.
I mean, it's just, for me, you could take it or leave it in terms of whatever controversy is, but people taking pot shots at Bob Lonsberry makes me happy.
Yeah. Funny thing is, and it may be real, but he's always very nice to me.
That's the thing is he's a professional.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he's a professional asshole. Yeah. So, when he's out of character and he's off the mic, he's a human being, and he's social, and he's very gracious. But then when he's on the mic, he has a job to do. He has a reputation to keep, and he also feels empowered because of how long he's been doing that.
And Tanya seemed to miss it. He compared the N-word to the word boomer in a tweet, and it caught some traction on social media and nationally. And
Yeah.
And one of my all-time favorite jokes came back. It's a couple years old. A comedian named John Mulaney.
Okay.
Who I'm a
Good
big
comedian.
fan.
Oh, he's funny as hell.
Great comedian.
Yeah.
And he goes, if you're comparing two words and you can't say one of them, that's the worst word.
Yeah. So people are saying, oh, you can't say boomer. It's like saying the N-word.
Yeah.
But you can say the word boomer while you're complaining about saying the word boomer, but you can't say the N-word.
Because the B word already has another
connotation or two.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that B word.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's
Benevolent?
going on. Yes.
Something you will never be accused of.
Bitchy?
And benevolent.
I'm a little crabby.
You can be a little crabby, but that's why we love you so
No,
much.
that's the C word. No, it's not the C word.
I don't think that word would come out of your mouth.
Are we talking about crustaceans? Wait, what? Huh?
Christopher?
Yes, dear.
The C word?
Oh, yeah, I am the C word to a couple of people out there. I know that for a fact.
I'm only the business bee, remember?
What's that?
The business bee.
There you go. Here it
Do you
is.
have a bitch barn?
Oh, I should make one, though.
Dun, dun, dun.
Like
Instead
a
of
she shed?
but it's
Yeah.
actually a bitch barn.
Bitch
Smash
barn.
things in there.
It's the she shed.
There is a thing called Smash Therapy out in Henrietta.
I went to the one that was on East Avenue because we brought in our printer from work. The printer is literally like 27 years old.
Is it in gajillion pieces now?
It is now.
Oh, it was a scene right out of Office Space.
I haven't seen that movie.
There's a counter on it and says it's printed over 4 million pages of paper.
Not anymore.
And it just kept jamming the last
Now
2
it's in
years.
4 million pieces.
Wow.
It was
That's
worth
amazing.
it. I hit it with a hockey stick a couple times.
Oh, look at you. That's sexy. Very nice.
Well, I just want to thank you guys for
For
being
what?
the emotional sport I need today.
Hey, we got you back, babe. Come on. You don't call me your best friend because, I bring you onto my podcast.
Oh, no?
I
No.
thought she was the co-host. How do you bring her on your podcast?
No, this was no.
snap!
This is circling around. This is circling around to 3.5 years ago when I said I want to do a thing. Billy has invited us into the studio to start podcasting. Who's in? And timid little meek little Tanya over here, who doesn't exist anymore, by the way, because she's not timid and meek anymore.
Hey, the people from
You're welcome.
Lunachicks are like, oh, is that your wrestling name? And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh.
Maelstrom Mattress.
roller derby.
But
I'll end up on my ass.
she's like, I could try.
I could
try.
try.
And how many times have you hosted solo on your own now? A couple times.
Too many.
You're doing fine.
You're doing fine.
She's awesome.
It's like
Only because I have excellent guests and co-hosts and that comes in. Whatever.
And there you go. That's the secret to my success. This is not by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not good at this. Seriously. I am
beg to
success.
differ. Wow,
I
you
am
fake
successful
it
because
well.
I've got a good team around me. I got people around me who are just as good as I am at it. We just that's how we do it. That's how we roll.
This is how we do it.
There it is.
You can always have a tap dancing career, Tanya.
Yeah.
Not lately. Gina's trying to kill us.
Tap dance. That's something I could never do.
Gina's trying to kill us.
I don't have the strength for it.
Well, yeah.
Or the balance. Or the endurance. Or the shoes.
Or the motivation.
Or the
I don't know if
motivation.
we could get tap shoes in your feet size.
Well,
Yeah.
Jerry's got to have
He's like
They're called
13.
skis at my
snowboards,
snowboards.
snowshoes.
We're
I think it's time for us to take a break.
going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about something else we haven't figured out yet.
Yay.
Yay!
It's the most wonderful time.
No, stop.
No,
No,
stop it.
What?
stop that. Okay, that's
Actually,
it. That's
yeah.
what we're talking about.
There we go.
We're going to talk about how that's just wrong, man.
Actually, if you go out into the hallway, did you catch? Were you wandering the hallways of this
No.
building?
Not
before you
really.
came in here?
No.
Yeah, it's out there.
Is it out there
It's
already?
out there. It's out there. We started
That's horrible.
a couple days ago. We were talking about words just a minute ago. So, and I actually did a search through my stand-up comedy bits.
Okay.
And there's one even I'm still afraid to play. So I'm going to go with George Carlin talking about words, which he's a wordsmith.
There we go.
I got to turn that on.
He is a
and here we
master
go.
wordsmith.
Words are just like humans, might as well be as one with the other. Sometimes they mean what they say, sometimes they don't, you know? Give me an example. Words. Paperclip. You never seen a paperclip, have you? They're made of metal. They're metal clips. You can use them on paper. Pay phone, they don't pay, they get paid. Where's the get paid phone? That's what I want. Fire department? What a ridiculous name. You'd think they started them. You know? They put them out. They ought to be the extinguishing department. They don't call the police the crime department, do we? How about a civil war? Can you imagine a war being civil? Refinish? What? I'm refinishing the table. Don't you have to restart?
I love this, man.
Here's a phrase, occasional irregularity. Now, what other kind of irregularity can there be? It's not occasional, it wouldn't be irregular.
Oh my God.
I so miss that, man. Oh my God. I maintain, I've said this on several occasions before, if George Carlin were alive today, he would be at the height of his career. He would be having a field day with the current social-political climate out there.
Park on a driveway, but you drive
on
on
a parkway. Yeah, he is amazing. Just a brilliant man.
It was funny, paper clip, but they're made of... Yeah.
But
Oh, it's the little things today.
it is. It really is going to be the little things.
That's okay. I've already got a text message from my mom that's got a little sticker emoji with the head blowing off.
Yeah. There you
I'm
go.
like, do I need to bring you alcohol? And she goes, yep. Okay.
All right, so we get to talk about one of my pet peeves today then apparently. That's going to be a thing. We're talking about Christmas in July not being a mid-year sale anymore. Christmas in July apparently is what they're getting ready for the wintertime. Now that may be
Christmas in July.
that may be an
Hallmark
exaggeration,
movies,
but no, but
'cause they
I may
did
be an
that.
exaggeration. But how I have seen Christmas displays being built in stores Labor Day weekend.
Okay. So, what day was I at Marketplace Mall?
Last week.
You were with me.
Saturday. Saturday, I was at Marketplace Mall. It was November 2nd? 2 days after Halloween. And I was coming through the shoe department because I was looking for sneakers. I was going to get ready to go to the melting pot with Anne for
Right.
dinner.
Okay.
The Christmas displays in the middle of the mall were already up. Mm-hmm. And the little snow was whatever. It was 11/2. It was 2 days after Halloween.
Yeah.
I was at
2 days.
Grease Ridge.
Grease Ridge is doing the same thing.
It was October 24th or 25th, one of those 2 days, because I had to go in to pick something up. And the train was running around the Christmas trees.
Yeah.
It wasn't
It's
even
ridiculous.
Halloween yet.
It's ridiculous. You know, and that's I don't really feel Christmas all anymore because it's so
Commercialized.
Yes. For me, and I've maintained this for several years, my favorite holiday is always Thanksgiving because it's all of the good parts of Christmas without having to buy crap. You know, it's food, feasting, hanging out with your friends and family. It's spending that time with the people that matter the most, just enjoying each other's company and pigging the hell out. That is just a beautiful thing. Being grateful for what you have in your life, awesome. You know, but they've turned Christmas into this
It's like
commercial
like
monster.
the movie Jingle All the Way. It's like you're running around getting everything and things like that. And
the funny thing is, though, it's been this complaint for 50 years now. When did Charlie Brown Christmas come out? Because that was the message of Charlie Brown Christmas. So that was the message of that even back then, which I believe is 50 years ago.
Yeah, it's got to be at least 50.
And so, and it's only gotten worse.
Yeah. Well, I think, it was interesting because I think I do remember hearing something about Charles Schultz
1965.
and the animated and the company who
65.
animated
65.
it. The message that they wanted to convey was because of the Thanksgiving Day Parade, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, because at the end was Santa and it was pulling, it's the beginning of the shopping season, and it was, so that kind of, just that statement alone kind of rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Why are we starting shopping season? Why are we just not talking about just Christmas and enjoying the aspects of Christmas that were always popularized throughout the centuries? And, so that's where it started. And it's not even culminating. Yeah. It's almost like my son, wise beyond his years.
Is he an old soul?
He is an old soul. My son is really an old soul. I guarantee it.
Because who else likes blueberry muffins except for
buttery
I
blueberry?
do.
They're delicious.
But we're old.
Yeah, that's
Nowadays
true.
it's chocolate chip muffins.
There
but
you go.
Ian still goes back to blueberry.
Blueberry. Yeah.
No, it's probably some type of gluten-free, paleo,
Yeah.
keto,
Oh Jesus,
whatever.
keto friendly. Yeah. But he'd make mention.
Beyond muffin.
He said sooner or later what you're going to see is you're going to see the Macy's Easter parade giving way to the Christmas shopping season. And it's like or then it's just Christmas is just going to be the year-round thing, But and I hope to God that's an exaggeration.
I've
But
always
it's
liked
just horrible.
I've always liked Christmas, and as a kid, you like the present aspect of it the most. And I still like the occasional really cool gift from.
Right.
But
that
one
someone
that
really thought about
and thought, hey, he would really like it, rather than the forced, hey, I got to get this person something, and I think they like this type of stuff, but maybe not. Something that someone's excited to give you.
Yeah, I mean that should be part of it. I agree that's definitely a great sentiment to work on.
And I bet you guys, because you're a lot like me, where if you see something for someone, you get it for them no matter the time of year. Because I know, Tanya, you've given me presents. And I've given people presents.
I might be a little guilty about that.
Yeah, but no, that's good though.
Tanya has a shopping problem.
Yeah.
Well, it was just like last week. I was at Ollie's with my coworker Anita because she wanted a weighted blanket. And I'm like, well, Ollie's had them, so she's like, oh, I'll meet you there. So this must have been Wednesday, and Tuesday or Wednesday, something like that. And I was walking through the school supply crafty aisle, and I saw this box, and it had 4 rocks in it, and it was like a metallic paint.
I got a rock.
Yeah, I got a rock. It's kind of like the Charlie Brown one. But it was just metallic, and it had all these like mandala designs or whatever. And I looked at my coworker Anita. I'm like, can I get it? She goes, no, you don't need it. I said, it's for Mo. It's for. She's like, okay, you can get it. But it wasn't even for me. It was for somebody else. And it was just, and I said to the staff the next day, I'm like, I got you a present. She's like, you did? I'm like, yeah, it's in my room. And she's like, oh, and then she came down. She goes, I'm hiding it from my children. Now, 3 of my students already tried to open that box because they wanted to dive in there and things like that. But it was just spur of the moment. And
Susan and I are really guilty of that, where I was going to give this to you at Christmas, but here, I want you to have it. Mm-hmm. So then we wind up having to wait till around Christmas to actually get Christmas presents because stuff we plan on holding on to doesn't wait very long.
It happens to me every time, too. Like, we went to the comic book, and I got all those Amazing Spider-Man. I was going to hold them for my husband for Christmas, but he already has them.
That's amazing.
Well, my parents go to Florida like right after Christmas. So they spend Christmas up here with family, and then usually between Christmas and New Year's, they go to their house in Florida from like the beginning of January to like the end of April, things like that.
Snowbirds.
Yes, they definitely snowbird. My son's birthday is in January. So it's always tradition for them, for my mom, to take Tyler birthday shopping when they're here. So this time, instead of birthday shopping in November for him, and then he'll have his birthday present in November because she won't hold it, they're going to shop when we're in Florida, because we're actually going to Florida for Christmas. Tyler, Riker, and I are going to Florida with my parents. We leave Christmas Eve, and we come back January 3rd because of the nice long school break. And that's pretty much the kids' Christmas present type thing, is 10 days in the sun and sand and, well, probably not sand, but they're golfing. So Riker's getting a set of golf clubs for Christmas that I already shipped. Unfortunately, I was guilty. I did buy a Christmas present and ship it after Columbus Day weekend.
Well, it was a good sale.
It was Amazon, but my parents were in Florida for those 3 weeks. So I needed the Christmas present there, and we were going to talk about decorating too early. My mom's Christmas tree was up in Florida the third week of October.
Oh, my God.
But they're not going to be back until Christmas Eve, and we didn't want to decorate on Christmas Eve down there. So
Okay, well, that's acceptable.
put her tree up,
that's,
and then
that's a logistical thing.
Then she left it, and she's got the Christmas presents wrapped in underneath it right there, because we're going to arrive
be there.
Christmas Eve, and then Christmas morning we'll have the gift.
See,
So that was logistic.
So for something like that, I understand that. That's got the little asterisk in the record book next to it, because I can understand that kind of a thing. But there are people out there who
have been decorated all year round.
Yeah. I have guys who, they're not on my street now, but on streets that I've lived in the past, that are designing their light around the house. They're designing their lights in
like
June,
Chevy
July.
Chase.
It's like Chevy Chase on
Christmas,
steroids, because it spreads out to the front yard. There's like dioramas and everything. They do these huge, massive things that you can see from orbit. So they're plotting things out in June, July. They're designing. They're putting things out in August. They're starting to string the house up in September. They're working in October. They're synchronizing everything in November.
They start so far ahead, baby Jesus is a teenager by the time
my
Christmas
God.
comes around. Thank you. Good day.
So am I guilty because my Christmas lights are still up along my porch?
That's just laziness, though.
Yeah, well,
that's a certain thing.
That string actually has to come down and get thrown out. We have new ones to put up. But
Okay.
yes, that is true laziness, because it's a pain in the butt to go up on the ladder to put those things up.
I actually, I used to joke about it being so anti-Christmas outside of December, but it's gotten to the point where I guess I'm old enough. I've become the curmudgeon about it. I really have.
Yeah, but you always put your tree up like the week before Christmas or a couple days prior to Christmas, and then keep it up through Three Kings Day.
Right. That's because that's the Christmas season as far as I'm concerned. Now, last year, I was able to circle back around to my original family tradition, because a lot of it, when I was still with my ex, a lot of it was just either procrastination or just not having the resources or the time to do anything right. So it was always, we were going into full drive a week and a half, 2 weeks beforehand to make sure that we were actually somewhat appropriate or ready for Christmas. And I'm not so anti-Christmas that I'm like almost like an atheist about Christmas at this point, but I feel like it has its pocket, it has its place. And so last year, my first year in the new house, my first year on my own with just the kids with me, right? And so it was significant to me that first weekend of December
That you went to get to tree.
I got a real tree, because I'd had an artificial tree for the past 18, 19 years before that. I got the real tree. I brought it home. I set it all up. I did all the Google searching on how to take care of a real tree in the house. I put the aspirin in the reservoir. I made sure that it was watered and whatnot. And then I waited I let it sit and settle, and so it got acclimated to the house, and then the kids came over and we decorated the tree together. That was Christmas for me. In December, where it belongs.
And you're spending time with your family.
Exactly. That is it. That's the whole
And
thing
friends.
about it. And I'm going to be very cautious about it this year, because now this year I have the added aspect of the Lord of Chaos, Little Miss Juno. So I'm not sure how
The lass of chaos.
the lass of chaos. The Lady of Chaos.
Lady of Chaos.
Yeah, I'm not sure how she's
Duchess.
going to. She may look at the tree and go, "Ooh, indoor plumbing," So,
Whereas,
Do you want our baby gate?
no, because she'll jump over it.
She'll get used to it.
She'll get
Most
used to
dogs
it.
know they once you put your decorations on it that smell like you,
Uh-huh.
they know that that's not outdoors.
Right.
well, no, we
Well,
haven't.
Except
Yeah.
for the cats, they climb it.
We have an artificial tree, and
Does it end up on the floor?
it seems like
year?
every season we have a new cat. Like each Christmas season, there's a new cat to deal with. And at first, Oliver sort of ignored it. Then we had Oliver and Daniel, who seemed to like to play with the bottom
Yep.
ornaments. And now we have Bob, who hasn't seen the Christmas tree yet and can jump really effing high. He got up to a place I still can't figure out how he got to. And I'm afraid that tree is just history. I'm not sure what we're going to do about a tree this year. The girls upstairs don't care, and they're old and they're grouchy like me and Susan. So
well, it's funny because like cats, you like, or even babies, like you, like when they're an infant, the whole tree's decorated because they're not moving, and then when they start crawling, like the first quarter of the tree has nothing on it, and then when they're walking, like the first half of the tree has nothing, and it's all on the top.
But the fact that there's like hooks and metal involved, and you don't want them to hurt their paws if they knock something off, and
They'll do it once.
yeah,
I don't want Juno to turn some of the good ornaments into a chew toy.
yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so I'm pretty sure that the tree is going to be bare for the
first
bottom
3
third.
feet.
The first foot is
You
going
know,
to be.
we just have our novelty tree. No, it's a fake tree, but and most of our ornaments aren't like the sentimental normal Christmas.
Yeah.
We have superheroes and
Right,
the
right.
New York Mets and things we like, you know.
Okay.
But I just don't want Oliver and Bob and Daniel to.
Yeah,
wreck
so I'm
things.
definitely going to do some reading and preparation
Yeah.
for that, and we'll just make sure that
How to puppy-proof.
how to puppy-proof a tree.
Yes.
That'll
I'm
be
not putting a tree up this year.
No.
I'm probably not celebrating Christmas this year. So,
Why is that?
well, my daughter is going to Disney for all of Christmas with her father.
Oh,
But beyond that, like my family, we used to always do the big Italian Christmas Eve thing that we all prepped for. But this year, well, actually, we've changed their tradition. We now do it the Saturday before Christmas.
Okay.
Because, there's over 100 of us now. So we have to go to a lodge in a park and kind of do it then.
gotcha.
But and we all know I live on a weird dairy farm. It's just a normal
Another
day
day.
of work. We all get up, we milk the cows. Well, okay, not me, I sleep in. I will make something to eat at lunch. Everybody comes in and eats at lunch, and then everybody goes back and does the same thing again. So for me, in my current state, to putting a tree up and taking it down and everything,
You're gonna be
I just,
exhausted.
yeah, I just not going to do it. I did go to Splatters and paint some Star Wars Christmas tree ornaments. So I
cool.
will put up some garland with the ornament, my
Oh, like
ornaments
maybe
and
around the
stuff.
window or whatever.
Yeah, like I'll put something up, just not a whole tree that has to come down.
Do you have one of those ceramic trees that have the little light bulbs that go
Okay.
all over
Oh,
it?
wow, those are old
So
school Italian.
that is what I'm going on this Friday to Splatters.
Are you gonna
It's-
make one?
It's 3 foot tall. I've already pre-ordered it. I'm gonna have to make it over the next 3 or 4 weeks, and then they'll fire it for me and put the little light bulbs in and stuff. And yes, I will have one day. Hopefully in the next month.
So while we've been chatting, I actually went on I Googled a couple of things, and I wound up on debate.org, the opinions section. And so, the question is basically, is there such a thing as too much Christmas?
Yes.
And overwhelmingly, the response is yes, there's too much. It should be, it agrees with me and a few others.
Yeah.
That Christmas is a December holiday. We should, it's the tail end of the year. It should be celebrated in December. A lot of people are quoting, basically referring to fatigue. All right, because it's showing up in October, it's showing up in September, showing up in November. Yes, I did that out of order. Anyway, that by the time Christmas rolls around,
We're exhausted.
you're exhausted of it. You're fed up of it. You're in Christmas fatigue, and it actually takes away from the actual day itself. And the day, it's like it's almost like running a Comic-Con to a degree. We
all
spend
leading up to
we
it,
spend
and then
this
you're like,
entire
"Oh."
year working on this thing, and then it suddenly happens, and it's over with, and you're like, wait, there's almost an emptiness. There's no way to truly appreciate what you just did.
Well, the funny thing is that right now we're sitting in a radio studio, and if we go outside that door, you're going to hear Christmas music.
Oh, I'm sure.
Playing over the thing. One of our stations is
Dedicated.
the Christmas station that started a couple days ago.
Yeah.
I personally love Christmas music, and right now it doesn't really offend me. No, in a couple weeks I'm going to be really tired of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Even though right now because I work in it. But I don't. The funny thing is, let me get back to this. The ratings for it will be tremendous. Everybody says, not Christmas music already, and their heads explode. And that's a general consensus. But looking at the ratings, that's not the case. There are
are
literally
listening.
stations around the country that are now Christmas stations year-round.
Really?
Yeah.
Year
I
round.
have a coworker that will sing Christmas music in July.
Wow.
And we're like, no.
Some people don't like Christmas music anytime, which I understand. And I personally like it during the Christmas season. For me, it's personally a little too early.
Yeah.
But walking out there. All right, it's Bruce Springsteen doing Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
I tell you,
As soon as I start hearing Mariah Carey,
Yeah.
it's like already want to start ripping my ears
My
off.
mother-in-law's been watching Christmas movies on Hallmark and
Yeah, they've
Hallmark
started
Mysteries,
earlier, too.
whatever. I want to say since September. It's been forever.
Now, here's the thing. Like I said, I was reading that one thread on debate.org. One person in particular, and I'm not sure what to make of this particular comment. I'm not sure if I'm sympathetic or just, oh my God, seriously. But the one person who was pro Christmas being earlier and earlier points to the fact of society in general.
Santa?
Society in general is we're so antagonistic and so negative these days. Everybody's so beat down. Everybody's so ready to wave a finger at each other or flip each other off, whatever the case may be. So to have that Christmas spirit sprinkled longer and more thoroughly through the year rather than just in 1 month of the year is a solace for this particular person. It reminds us of who we are. It reminds us of the things that we like to emulate or should be emulating more. And I can understand that argument. And but instead of stretching Christmas across 4 or 5 months, how about we learn from that and put that back into play year round. And it doesn't have to be a Christmas theme. It can just be a freaking good human.
I don't believe in all my intimate wisdom that I believe in learning.
Yeah.
But a week or two ago, we were talking about Halloween.
Right.
And whether to move it to the Saturday before. Or
Right.
The last
Or the last
Saturday.
Saturday.
Which it will be next year.
Should we move Thanksgiving to a week earlier, to a Thursday earlier?
Well, no, because I mean it cycles through the month, and there's sometimes it's like the 21st, and sometimes it's the 29th. So it bops back and forth, but it's always the last Thursday of November. So that gives you consistency. That gives you consistency. Now, if we treated Christmas the same way, so it's the last Saturday of December or the last Thursday of December or whatever the case may be, in preparation for New Year's. Yeah, I would worry that Christmas and New Year's would collide.
Yeah.
That would be a thing.
Whereas Christmas is the 25th, and that's deep enough in the December where...
Yeah. And also,
to
be honest, the Christians would probably cry bloody murder. They go, well, you can't mess with Jesus' birthday, even though Jesus was actually born in March. But, you roll with it. You just roll with it, There are certain consistencies in life. And I don't think moving Christmas to a particular set day of the week rather
I was going to say it is a set day.
It's a set day in terms of December 25th, but I'm saying a set day of the week. Okay, it's the last Saturday or it's the third Saturday of every December or whatever the case may be. I don't think that's going to eliminate the problem that Christmas has bled into September at this point.
Well, there's some stores that I know set up early for reasons. Seeing like the craft stores, they will start having Christmas stuff in sometimes August because people who are crafty have to start
preparing.
early on. Yeah, and that's completely normal. But it's walking into the grocery store, Halloween day, just because you have to pick up extra candy for Halloween, and seeing them
Christmas candy canes.
Yeah, to see the Christmas candy canes already up. And they haven't even taken down Halloween yet.
Yeah.
Like, we need to have that break between Halloween and Thanksgiving so that we can learn to be grateful for what we have at Thanksgiving so that when we actually celebrate Christmas, we can respect it and enjoy it and not feel like it's a competition to buy the biggest, baddest gift for your kids or your loved ones and not just a day to remember and have fun and enjoy your family.
I was at a Thanksgiving, and as I've mentioned already, Thanksgiving is kind of that sacred of all of the holidays as far as I'm concerned. It's the top one for me. And I was at a Thanksgiving dinner. This was a couple of years ago. And I was with a cousin that I had not seen in quite some time, so we were catching up. And, because of dinner and because of the chaos, there was a lot of people in the room. We didn't get a chance to really talk all that much. But then as things started settling down, I got to sit with him. We're shooting shit. We're just kind of catching up with each other. Hey, how's this going? All of a sudden, he gets a tap on the shoulder, and he's like, we got to go. And he looks up. He goes, "Oh yeah, that's right. We got to go." And I'm like, "Wait, what's going on?" He goes, "Oh, we're going to go get in line for Black Friday because all these stores are going to open up at midnight, and the missus wants to do this, and I'm like, seriously? I'm like, okay, well, I'll see you again in another 3 or 4 years, I suppose. So I was like, well,
are
you kidding me?
Yeah, that's the one thing. It's like I remember Black Friday shopping because it was Black Friday when I was like a teenager, and it was never packed and busy and whatever. Like you could spend the whole day
Just putzing
around and getting some good deals. Now it's
war.
I mean,
It's
even
war.
like
Fucking
It is war.
nuts.
That's and it's war.
And I'm sorry, with all the retailers like Amazon or whatever and Apple, they have online deals also that are just as good as what you would do to get into the store, and there's no.
I will admit this. 2 years ago, on Black Friday, I saved almost $2,000.
Wow.
I stayed home and did nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how I saved all the money. I stayed home.
It's right.
I didn't spend.
Like 10, 15 years ago, my sister and I used to like to get up and like we'd meet and we'd go out to the mall.
Yeah.
She'd pick up some stuff, and it was fun. We'd get up like early because it was like I was working in a factory and didn't have to get up early then. So getting up at like 4 a.m, then going out to breakfast with her and going around the mall was kind of unique and fun and just something we did together. And now I'm not going to go out. And it reminds me, a couple days ago, a guy I work with, works down in the newsroom, tweeted out like one of those calendars with all the kind of wacky holidays. It's chocolate day, it's pizza day, but plus the real holidays. And now the Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, is now called Black Friday on that calendar.
Oh, really?
Because that's when they keep moving the day. Because remember, the stores would open Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. Then it started being 5 o'clock on Thanksgiving Day or 9 o'clock on Thanksgiving Day. Or then it became noon on Thanksgiving Day. Now Black Friday on this particular calendar that I looked at the other day, it's Wednesday.
You can get Black Friday deals
On Wednesday, yeah. And I think that right there, that was one of those final straws when I realized that a lot of stores, a lot of the big chain stores, were opening up during Thanksgiving dinner. That's like that's the slap in the face to me, because I'm going to reiterate. I'm going to be the broken record. Thanksgiving's my favorite, and you're going to be interrupting it so that we can spend freaking money that we don't have on crap we don't need for a holiday that's a month away yet.
Oh, I need it.
And the employees that don't get to spend time with their family because
Yeah.
it's mandatory,
Yep.
they have to work.
Yep. I've seen a lot of people like, I got to work or they're going to fire me.
Yeah,
Really?
My brother had a girlfriend who had a job at Walmart, and she had to work Christmas. This particular one was Christmas Eve, which is like my family Christmas Eve. Christmas happens on Christmas Eve, where we all get together at my sister's house and do stuff. Christmas Day is kind of like the quiet day for all of us. But
in recent years, especially when Erica and I got the kids, my family, my mom's side of the family, got used to doing Christmas on the 23rd because my youngest cousin, Kristen, she married a fellow from Syracuse. So they would go out and spend Christmas Eve and Christmas Day out in Syracuse with his family. Okay, so cool. So we'll get our whole clan together on the 23rd. So it just kind of fit perfectly. On the 23rd, we'd be at my mom's. On the 24th, we'd go to my father-in-law's. And then on the 25th, we were tired. So we're like, no, we're staying home.
that's what Susan and I come in here and play 2 or 3 hours of Christmas
right.
music.
Yeah, and just hang out.
And then we go home. Actually, we've gone to the movies the last 2 years.
Yep, done that too.
We saw Aquaman last year, and we saw Star Wars 2 years ago.
On
if I remember correctly.
Usually what will happen on the 25th is I will start cooking something, usually around 10:30 in the morning. My mom will come over. My dad will come over at one point or another and visit. People will come kind of, we'll have usually about a dozen or so people in and out the door over the course of the day. And it's worked out really well since I split with Erica, because she gets to keep the kids and they have their Christmas Eve at their father-in-law's, at their grandfather's. Great. And then on Christmas Day, they come see me. And, and then we all hang out. So we spend the day and we watch movies and we relax. And so Christmas Day continues to be that perfect, quiet, easygoing, everybody's just having fun kind of day, and we get to play with our new toys and, have a good time. So, to me, that's kind of what Christmas is really all about, just getting that chance to relax and unwind and spend some time with family, exchange tokens to say you mean something to me, or, you don't need the materialistic aspect to convey that emotion, but it's fun to offer something. We were talking about that earlier, but that's the day. It doesn't have to be a 3-month process.
Yeah.
The Advent calendar. And growing up in our house,
Mm-hmm.
until the Advent calendar
Came
or
out.
the Advent wreath came out, you didn't sing Christmas songs. You didn't mention Christmas. You
Right.
didn't talk about what you were going to ask Santa for.
And that's
until
perfectly
that
logical.
First candle was lit.
Yeah.
Then it was the Christmas season that you could prepare for it.
It makes sense.
That was it.
Actually, we've been talking about this, and I've had this song in my head. It runs perfect to this. There's a folk singer by the name of Loudon Wainwright III. He had a hit in the 70s called Dead Skunk, you may remember.
Okay.
And the first season of MASH, he played the guy
Is this Grandma got run over by a reindeer?
No, not that. I think you'll like this
soon.
because it goes
Too soon.
perfect. Oh, so here you
Sorry, honey.
Thanks, Christopher.
Sorry, honey.
Although technically the season I think is over.
Oh,
I was pleased
this
week
he
to walk
recorded
around
in
the streets
January.
of Manhattan and see the sidewalks strewn with Christmas trees. It's about damn time. This is the Christmas song that I wrote. I wrote it early. There was plenty of inspiration. I think I wrote it around November 2nd.
Which nowadays is late.
Suddenly it's Christmas, right after Halloween. Forget about Thanksgiving, it's just a buffet in between. There's lights and tinsel in the windows, they're stocking up the shelves. Santa's slaving at the North Pole in his sweatshop full of elves. There's got to be a build-up to the day that Christ was born. The halls are decked with pumpkins and ears of Indian corn, dragging through the falling leaves in a one-horse open sleigh. Suddenly it's Christmas, 7 weeks before the day. Suddenly it's Christmas, the longest holiday. When they say season's greetings, they mean just what they say. It's a season, it's a marathon, retail eternity, and it's not over till it's over and you throw away the tree. Outside it's positively balmy, in the air nary a nip. Suddenly it's Christmas, unbutton and unzip. Yes, they're working overtime, Santa's little runts. Christmas comes but once a year and goes on for 2 months.
3 now.
Christmas carols in December and November too. It's no wonder we're depressed when the whole thing is through. Finally it's January, let's sing Old Lang Syne. But here comes another heartache shaped like a Valentine.
Jeez.
Suddenly it's Christmas, the longest holiday. The season is upon us, a pox that won't go away. It's a season, it's a marathon, retail eternity, and it's not over till it's over and you throw away the tree. No, it's not over till it's over and you throw away the tree. It's still not over till it's over and you throw away the tree.
There you go.
Yeah.
I just thought that fit.
That does. Fits well, into my argument at least. So.
Have any of you ever worked retail at Christmas?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
I worked at Bonton one Christmas. Free gift wrapping.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
That had to be hard.
That was awful.
Yeah.
I remember Christmas Eve at 9 o'clock at night, people still throwing things across the counter at me because they needed it wrapped.
Oh, I thought you meant you got free gift wrapping for working there.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Bonton used to
that's
offer
worse.
free gift wrapping. And people would
I
want...
worked gift wrap at Kaufman's.
Oh, God. People would want, like, they bought an outfit, but they want each individual thing wrapped individually at Christmas. So they have more stuff under the tree. Oh, it was awful. Bad.
I gotta tell you. Well,
And just to prove the thing, we just did our Christmas episode on November, whatever day this is.
what's the
8th,
number
9th?
9th? November 9th, we're talking about our Christmas episode.
We'll
well,
do
it's not
another
so.
one.
Well, it's
Yeah,
not
we'll do an
necessarily
actual
the
Christmas
This
episode.
Is
This is
how
our.
soon is too soon.
Yeah, that's.
Type
I think we're
thing.
crabbing about Christmas at this point, but we'll do an actual proper Christmas
Yeah.
episode celebrating
It's
what
not
we like about
we're
the holiday.
like bah humbug. It's just a matter we're bah humbug.
We'll
in
celebrate
October.
Christmas in a month, but right now we're crabbing about Christmas. That's about the extent
This
of it.
Christmas is going to be a difficult time for our family.
I know, babe.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one, but we're all here for you. You know that,
Yeah, I
right?
know.
Everybody who listens to the podcast, we're all sending you love. It's all good. All five people who listen to us on a regular basis. We're huge in Egypt.
I found
I
that
keep getting friend requests with everything that's all in like Arabic.
Yeah.
I was like,
My requests come from Russian girls.
Yay.
mail order brides?
Mail order
Yeah,
brides, darling.
Man, I thought all mine were widowed army men.
Yes, that too. See, and everybody ignores me.
Oh, you get real friends.
I got real friends. They're in the room.
Yeah.
It's all good.
He's a real boy.
So anyway,
I think
does it stop? Do we see that enough? Would somebody will declare enough is enough, or are we just it's gonna get worse and worse and worse over the years?
I think we should declare enough is enough. Until November 30th, you can't celebrate Christmas or start celebrating Christmas.
I often joke that if I ever ran for president, the first thing I'd do would be an executive order banning Christmas to December.
Now, I mean, like when I was growing up, my grandparents would travel to Arizona like right after Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. So on my mom's side of the family, we would have Thanksgiving Day dinner like at like 2:00 in the afternoon or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then later on that day, because we're all still together, we do that side of the family's Christmas because usually that following weekend, my grandparents would leave for Arizona, but we'd only exchange with my grandparents then. And then on Christmas Day or whatever, we'd actually still get together with my mom's side of the family, but we would
See, that's
celebrate.
a logistical thing.
It's
That's like
all
right there with your mom setting up the
logistics.
tree in October. That's legit. I understand that. I get that. But when Lexus is trying to sell you a car thinking that's the ultimate Christmas gift in October, hey, come in now and get a Lexus for your, okay, because I can afford it. Because a Lexus is the same cost as my house. It's I don't know. There's so much buy this, buy that, buy this.
I'd rather,
Spend money here, spend this.
When
because
did Santa get sexy? When did Santa get sexy? Has anybody seen the K Jewelers commercial?
Yeah.
Oh, with him with the
Guys, Mrs. Claus, the necklace.
Ooh.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm either getting old or Santa's sexy.
I know. I saw that too, and I was like,
It's almost, I can almost hear George Carlin saying it. Buy now to show
reminded
someone
me of
how you
Kurt Russell.
love them.
He reminded me of a younger Kurt Russell.
I thought the sexiest man in the world was like, is he going to be having some beer next?
Something. I don't know. But
Let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Easter. No, I know.
Yay.
Yeah, there you go.
can I get chocolate?
Yes, absolutely. There's some in the
chocolate.
donut box right over here.
I already had some.
Here, let's, since we talked about George Carlin, let's talk
More George Carlin.
Let's hear George Carlin. Not sure what he's going to say, but here you go.
Yay.
As part of this pre-boarding, they say, we would like to pre-board those passengers traveling with small children.
Well, what about those passengers traveling with large children? Suppose you have a 2-year-old with a pituitary disorder. A 6-foot infant with an oversized head. About this time, someone is telling you to get on the plane. Get on the plane, get on the plane. I say, you, I'm getting in the plane. Let Evel Knievel get on the plane. I'll be in here with you folks in uniform. There seems to be less wind in here. They might tell you you're on a non-stop flight. Well, I don't think I care for that. No, I insist that my flights stop. Preferably at an airport.
To me, this just has like a sexy cowboy
Absolutely.
vibe to it. Like,
Not Santa.
Not Santa.
just the music is like got that.
Unless Santa was wearing a cowboy hat, I suppose, and some chaps.
Assless.
Santa and assless chaps. There you see, you were going there first. I love that.
It's from the Devouring Dungeon .org. Hence Sean. That's Sean's character. He'd be the one that would say, oh boy.
Oh, Tanya.
Yes.
Oh, Anne.
Yes.
Do we have events coming up?
Who's that person who plans that stuff?
You.
Well, we do have MiniCon coming December 7th and 8th in the movie theater in the Grease Ridge Mall.
where you can get your last-minute Christmas gifts.
Because it'll be in December.
So
Do your Christmas shopping in December.
perfect timing.
At the MiniCon.
In the theater wing.
December 7th and 8th. In December.
But you can also buy some really cool Christmas gifts right now online. You check out the FC3 Facebook page or FC3.com. You can buy your weekend passes for FC3 2020 as they are now on sale.
That would be a perfect stocking stuffer.
May 30th and 31st of 2020 at the Total Sports Experience in Gates.
And you could actually get your loved one's Christmas
You
presents.
love that shit. You know that.
If you go to Mighty Monkey on Amazon, you can get our shirts, our Nerd
Yep,
World
you can get our
News
Nerd
and our
World
Monkey
News
Business
shirts.
ones.
Also, if you use Amazon Smile and label the Mighty Monkey Corporation as your choice,
Which I have.
awesome, so have I.
Me too.
Then we get a little itty bitty cut of every purchase you make at Amazon.
You are supporting
You are
FC3.
supporting the Flower City Comic Con and all of our efforts to bring STEAM to the world.
Science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
Yes.
Oh.
Science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
Yep.
The
So those are
educational
two
aspect
cool
of it.
things we have
But
coming
do we
up.
know what Erber is yet?
No.
Not a bit.
But if you'd like to sponsor on anybody for FC3 2020, please feel free to reach out to us any way you can, or find Chris.
Or is that sponsors?
Sponsors.
At fc3roc.org.
Not sponsorship.
Not sponsorships.
No sponsor.
Although Dan
had to create
Dan
an email.
created that because he after he was done laughing at me for screwing it up. He did go ahead and create sponsorships at FC3, but it's sponsors at fc3roc.org. Flower City Comic Con.
Although what I'm hearing you say is that both will work.
Yes, both will work, but there's one that's preferred.
Okay.
Feel free to reach out to us. You want to sponsor a guest, sponsor, any kind of events, artists. Yes, we have some really cool artists coming
Authors.
this year already. Sponsor an
Anything
author.
for if you have something that you want to give us for the cosplay contest.
Yes, we
Things
are
like-
looking for prizes for businesses to give us.
Flower City Comic Con coming at you May 30th and 31st, 2020 at the Total Sports Experience in Gates.
Lots of free parking.
Tons of free parking.
And it's on a bus line.
Apparently it doesn't work on a weekend.
It does. I
It
looked
does.
it up.
They've got different hours.
Okay, good.
But it
Switch
does.
winter, spring.
Can somebody address that person who
We're
lodged
not.
that complaint?
No.
Okay.
We just did.
We just did?
We just did.
But we're assuming that person listens to the podcast.
Well, it's on our Facebook page.
Very
right?
good. All right.
Yay.
Anyway.
If Billy can figure out how to get there, anyone.
Yeah. I call Tanya and say, can I have a ride?
There's
Sure.
always Uber.
You can
Not
always Uber.
Uber.
Not
Not
Uber.
Uber.
Maybe you can Uber. It depends on what it means.
All right, so Tanya,
Yeah.
what is our question of the week?
Hold on, let me.
I
get
know
back
we
over
looked it up. I wrote
Okay.
it down.
What single work of fiction do you wish everyone would read, and why?
Okay. Billy.
Oh, it's not the comedy one. Okay, single work of fiction. Do I wish everyone would read?
I don't think it's fiction. I think mine would be considered nonfiction, and I don't think I want to say it.
50 Shades of Grey.
No.
Non-fiction.
Kama Sutra.
Now I want to know. Really?
It was.
Wow, I was
I
going to
like-
go the Bible.
Damn, the first thought that pops in your head is kind of cool. I'm going to go with it.
No, it just goes to the literature question that Chrissy said the other night. It's
Oh,
like,
right.
other than the Quran
Right.
or the Bible, what is the highest grossing piece of literature around or whatever? And we're like,
What did it turn out being?
the Guinness Book of World Records.
That's hilarious. I would have said like something like the Bhagavad Gita or something
whatever,
like
and
that.
I'm like, Kama Sutra? I'm like, or now 50 Shades of Grey, because
Yeah.
that was a huge, but I don't know. But go ahead, Billy.
Can you come back to me? I got to think about this. I had the other question in my head. I had the different question
Oh,
in
you
my
had the
head.
fictional scene or comedy routine?
No, yeah, I had comedy
That's next
routine in my
week's
head.
question.
Okay, then I'll think about. Let me think about it's a work of fiction that I want everyone to read. Is that this
Yes.
week's current question?
Yep.
Come back to me, please.
You want me to just
Red
jump?
fish, blue fish, green fish.
Go ahead.
Red fish, blue, one fish.
Really?
No.
Little Dr. Seuss action?
Actually, I was going to do Dr. Seuss. Oh, the Places You'll Go.
That's a great book.
It is a very
That is a
good
great
book.
book.
It's like the graduation book for students.
Yes. Oh, the places you'll go.
That would be mine. Mm-hmm. And that's just, I haven't read it in a while.
Why should we read that? Just because of its hopeful qualities?
Yeah, I think so. It's a matter of just thinking about you're here and you're starting, and no matter what you dream and your goals or whatever, you have plenty of doors and places that you can go and get yourself involved in.
Cool.
So.
Annie Pants, do you have an answer for this particular question of the week?
50 Shades.
Not 50
of Grey.
Shades of Grey. Maybe 50 Shades of Freud, but no.
50 Shades of Freud.
I think that's even worse than 50 Shades of Grey.
Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. Anyway.
Actually, it's the third book in that series.
Okay.
But no, I was going to say John Steinbeck's The Pearl.
The Pearl?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. I have not read that one. I remember. I think I've heard about it, but what is it? What is that one about?
It's somebody spends their whole life looking for that one thing. Just to lose everything to look for that one thing when he had already had everything, his whole family.
Oh, I
because
see.
he was looking for that pearl, looking for that pearl.
He's looking for that pearl.
So that's a
looking for
good
that pearl.
message.
Yeah.
That's a good message.
Don't overlook what you already have to look for something you really don't need.
Okay.
I have a second one.
Go ahead.
The Gift of the Magi.
Tell me more about that one.
You don't know that one?
No, I don't.
No. It's a couple, usually a husband and a wife, and they're kind of poor. Like what her pride is her long, beautiful hair, and what the husband has that is his like prized possession or whatever is his like pocket watch that I think that was his father's or his grandfather's or whatever. And it's Christmas time, and they don't have a lot of money to get each other Christmas gifts. So he goes out and sells his pocket watch to get her a beautiful comb with just pretty comb for his wife's hair to put his hair up. And then when he gets home, he finds out that she had cut her hair and sold it in order to get him a chain for his pocket watch.
Wow.
That they were sacrificing
for
each other stuff that for themselves for the other person.
That's a cool one.
Yeah.
You got
That's a
anything,
good
Billy?
I do.
Go.
Actually, I had to look up the name of it because I only know it by its plot, but I bought this book for my niece and nephew not too long ago, and it's a story I always remember, but the title is impossible to remember. It's called From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. And it's about two kids, a brother and sister, that get locked in a museum by accident and like wind up living in the museum.
Okay.
And it's just a wonderful story. And
That's
it's
cool.
I always remember that book. That and a book called Half Magic are two kids' books that I always remember really liking as a kid and rereading them over and over, even though I couldn't remember this one. From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. Because Susan and I visited the New York Metropolitan Museum of Art a couple years ago when we were there. And that book was in the museum, so I picked it up again.
Very cool.
I have a kid's book, too, that I loved.
Which was?
Stone Soup.
Oh,
I remember reading
Stone-
that.
I
Stone
love that
Soup.
book.
Yeah, Stone Soup. I remember
was
that
it,
one. Right up there with How to Eat Fried Worms.
Was it the author?
I'm not sure the author is. I just remember, nobody had enough to make whole food, but when they all added everything they each had individually together, it fed the whole town.
Stone Soup. It's
either going to be that one or Me Too Week One.
You're going to wind up with the local band Stone Soup.
no,
bet,
I
if you
got
Google
the
it.
best
Okay.
children's stories. I just
Okay. Who wrote it? By John J. Muth? No.
No.
Marcia Brown? Or there's a few books called Stone Soup in my Amazon search.
This is the one I'm thinking. Anne McGovern.
Yeah, of course. It's someone named Anne. We're always awesome.
A clever young man tricks an old woman into believing that soup can be made from a stone. As the pot of water boils with a stone in it, he urges her to add more and more ingredients until the soup is feast fit for a king. It's been in print for 30 years.
I remember reading it when I was in grade school.
Wow.
I do.
30
remember
years
that
ago.
one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking Tommy DePola. That's the other author that's got a lot of... He's got Stregonona.
Oh, my mom bought all the Stregonona books for my kids when they were growing up.
Yeah.
Those are fun books. Very fun books.
So what would yours be, Chris?
Well, the one predominant one that comes to mind for this particular question is Roald Dahl's Danny the Champion of the World. It was a book that it's a great story that focuses on a relationship between a father and a son, and just it's got all usual kids story hijinks going on, and a little bit of thievery, but it's basically the stiff upper lip getting his comeuppance, as it were. But it's all about really the relationship between Danny and his father, and the things that they do for each other and how they look after each other. The mother had passed away many years earlier before the story began. So it was these two guys living together and how they took care of each other, how they looked after each other. And I remember my dad reading it to me when I was a little kid. It was almost, I remember when I first described it to Erica, just before I bought a copy and started reading it to my kids, we were talking about books like The Princess Bride. And it really, I remember the whole thing, looking back at the memory, it's such a positive memory. It really felt like those opening scenes in The Princess Bride where Peter Falk comes in to read to Fred Savage's character, Grandpa and the grandson. So that vibe was there. And so I kind of always identified that. And then the fact that my dad spent the time reading this book to me, is one of those memories that I always carry with me. So then when I turned around and read the story to my kids, and they loved it just as much and they had just as much fun with Daddy reading than the story, so that's kind of got that emotional component for me.
And thank you, Tanya, for sort of unknowingly changing the question, the favorite sort of children's books.
Yeah, I know, seriously.
Well, it's just that
I have a second
do
response.
Do you wish everyone would read and why?
Yeah.
It's like, because I think a lot of it brings in the nostalgia because it makes you feel good, or it does that connection with the family and things like that. And
because it's funny, my other aunt, the first book that popped in my head is one of my favorite novels is The Stand. But I in the world where things are going wrong, I don't know if I want everybody to read The Stand.
Right.
Whereas this book I mentioned, Miss Basil E. Wilder, I already forgot the name of it, but I remember the story as being really sweet and kind, and these kids being locked in the museum and learning and having adventures and having fun and living in the museum for like a week or two for some unknown reason.
My other favorite book of fiction that I think everybody should read would be Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I thought of that too.
That's going to be a thing. I mean, just because it's not just British humor, it's just so absurd and entertaining and imaginative that it helps kind of lighten the mood a little bit. Nothing heavy. It's easy read. And there's like 5 books in the trilogy, which is a Douglas Adams thing right there. And they're all good. They're all fun. So that would be something I would want to share with people. Yep. So anything else? Any last thoughts? How's your hat coming along over there, Anne? Ooh, I think you've added a couple inches to that sucker. She's crocheting away like a little bandit over here. Just make sure you don't get your feeding tube locked in. Don't crochet that in there.
That would be awful. Does anybody remember? I think I've mentioned this before. Kids' books used to have. Okay, so when I was in kindergarten, this little green bus used to come to my house and deliver me books every week. They were called the Pickles books, the Pickles Gang.
I don't remember that at all.
No. Pickles.
I love this one book, and it was called Me Too Iguana.
I remember the when the flyer would come to school when you were in grade school. I can't remember what the program was.
Scholastic
The
Book
Scholastic,
Fair.
the Scholastic Book Fair.
Scholastic Arrow, whatever.
And you'd pick a couple, and they would come, and Mom would have to pony up the money. 'Cause, I didn't have it.
But they were really cheap books.
They were cheap books.
Here's Me Too Iguana. It's a purple book with a green iguana on the front.
Yes, I love that book. I actually purchased it like 3 times.
Now, I was part of the city school district. Did you know the RIF program?
Yes.
Okay, reading is fundamental, I believe RIF stood for. And there was a, once a year, we go into a big room and just be filled with books. And everybody got to pick out a book or two. All different kinds of books.
And now they've switched that a little bit to everybody in the city school district on their birthday. Even if it's a summer or whatever, they move it to your half birthday. Every kid on their birthday gets to go into this whole library they have set up almost all the schools. And they get free books, 1 or 2 or 3.
That's cool.
And most of it is sponsored by Scholastic, because Scholastic, every book that you buy, they donate one to the school district.
So our big message today is, aside from all the streaming services and the video games and all of the stuff you can get on your iPad and whatnot, don't be afraid to pick up a fun book and read something. And there are a lot of great choices out there. Those things will be meaningful to everybody at one point or another. So that's good. Let's go ahead and wrap it up on that. And there it is. And this has been Monkey Business, a product of the Mighty Monkey Corporation, coming at you like a spider monkey in May 30th and 31st. Flower City Comic Con 2020 at the Total Sports Experience in Gates. As always, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us wherever we go, and we'll lead you to where the entertainment is. You guys have a great week. We'll see you again soon, and Merry Christmas.